stopped at my waist. And when I think about this, it's just an emotional thing for me, because I was so scared. I was 24 years old, and I felt that my life was in limbo.
Yes.
And that at that moment, I was screaming. I was doing everything I could to get away from this massive machine.
Right.
And of course, my boss, he was running around and around the machine, and he was trying to take it apart with his bare hands, and to no avail.
Right.
So he stops, and he says, "I've got to go get help, Dave." And I said, "Well, you've got to do what you have to do." And he leaves me in this cornfield alone.
Mm.
But I wasn't alone, obviously. And I began to think, while I was there, about my life, and think about my family, the things that meant something to me.
Right.
And that I was subject to leave my life as I knew it. And I remember being scared and just so traumatically energized by what had just took place in my life. And I don't know how much time elapsed from him leaving the cornfield, but he came back, and behind him I could hear sirens in the distance. And before long, this small country cornfield turned into a small city. There was 5 area county rescue squads from surrounding counties that had gathered in this cornfield. And they worked vehemently to try to disassemble this corn head, to no avail.
Yes.
They couldn't get what they needed to free me from the machine. And around 2.5 hours elapsed while I'm in this machine. And Bishop Mays, the amazing thing was that I didn't lose consciousness, but all the while I'm conscious. And these people are working and trying to free me from this place. And then I heard one of the paramedics say, "Well, let's call the University of Kentucky and let's have them dispatch their medevac to the scene." And they did so. And it wasn't long after that I could hear the helicopter in a distance, and the rotor blades on it, and the wind and things, and landed in the cornfield. And they took the jaws of life, the paramedics did, and a cutting torch, and began to cut this machine apart. And they done so to where that they could free me from this machine. And upon them finishing their maintenance on the machine, as I began to exit, it had literally stripped my legs as if you were a hunter and you would skin a rabbit. And all my lower extremities from my waist down was exposed. And Brother Steve, the congregation that had gathered in that field, there was people from all walks of life throughout the whole county that I was in, that had gathered there in that span of time. And I could hear the people gasp, "Oh, God." And I'll never know to this day what they could see.
Right.
But I knew it had to be bad. They put me belly first on a gurney. And as I was laying there, they picked me up and ushered me across the cornfield and put me in this helicopter, and I began to lift off. And I remember as we're lifting off, we were turning clockwise. I looked down at this small city that had gathered there just, it seemed like a few minutes of time. And somewhere in between A and B, A being the cornfield and B being the university, the trauma center, I got real cold. And no doubt it was due to blood loss and trauma. I began, no doubt, to go into shock.
Absolutely.
And I felt I was dying.
Absolutely.
And I began to pray, and I said, "God," I said, surely this is not the end of my life. I feel like I was just getting started. I was 24 years old.